The magic at this conference is the vendors aren't treated like vendors. They're treated like family. They're included in all of the different activities, and you have a lot of exposure to the conversations that decision makers are having in terms of how they're going to improve their parks, the challenges they're facing, and what the future might hold. So we as vendors, that's valuable information, and whether what we're doing for R&D, what tools we're going to build to help streamline operations for them, and most of all, we get to see these beautiful properties that have been preserved across the country or in the Southeast for our public and our, their customers' use and our use. It's a wonderful opportunity for anyone, any vendor that's in this space to get to know their customers better.
The vendors who help support these conferences are already the people we're using. And maybe not in our state, but they are supporting state parks. And they're doing it, it's a business for them, and they want a financial gain for it. But when you talk to most of these vendors, they are in this because they are also parks people. They are park rangers who found another walk of life. So whether we were just speaking with a guy from Viasat and Wi-Fi in the parks, and he is a businessman who has run all sorts of telecommunications businesses through the years, and you can talk to him, and he got into this because he was like campground host is what we called him. He volunteered at a park and was like, they really need to get Wi-Fi at this park. And he has become a passionate, enthusiastic supporter of getting Wi-Fi in the parks. So, and the people doing sales, they visit parks and they're like, wow, I can make something that this park can sell to help with their revenue. So I've learned that the vendors here are already our supporters. They're great friends. They're fun to talk to. They want to do fun stuff when they come to these conferences. They want to meet park rangers as well, and they want to support us in our jobs. All of us are under gigantic financial pressures in park services. Funding at state levels is so competitive, so we need to find ways to both save money on the products we're buying, whether it's a log cabin kit or vehicles, to make a profit off of retail sales. So, and these guys are all here to help us do that.
This conference is different in the respect that it is a networking conference. Most conferences you go to, it's a trade show booth. You depend on people coming by your booth. This is a lot different. You actually get to know the people here and establish a relationship over the 4 days that we're here.
At a trade show, depending on, there's so many, but when you're set up at a booth, and there's allotted times for the attendees to go and visit these booths, sometimes it feels like they're almost forced to have to go and talk to you, but they're really not into it. Whereas here, because you've been part of the whole process from end to end, you've gone to the parks, you've gone kayaking or biking, you've done these activities, it's a much more natural kind of relationship you're building with a potential client or an existing client or whoever. And it really builds a better sense of camaraderie throughout the conference. So you kind of look forward to this one every year.
When you go to a regular trade show, you're sitting at a booth hoping that people will come by your booth. And frankly, you have to work the room, and you can't do that in a giant environment. These are small, intimate affairs with with a dozen or so potential clients, and the opportunity to be engaged with them over several days, on a one-to-one basis throughout the park experiences that are provided. So it's a unique experience for someone in the business world to be able to reach the high level of decision making within the state decision-making organization.
It's an opportunity to be able to engage with your participants, your attendees. And so in doing that, it allows us, if you have a product of value to them, okay, to be able to explain that further. It gives them time to think about it for a day or so and be able to ask more questions about your product. People buy from people. In order to do that, you have to have interface. And I think this conference allows us to do that.
Somehow this conference manages to feed you more and more every year. So if you're planning on coming here, give yourself a little diet before you get here, because walk away a couple pounds heavy.